this means everything. It's the most important signing in Dodgers history. I have no problem saying that. It's the most important. It's the biggest. I think it will be the most impactful, and it's already impactful. Not on the field, but odds-wise, the Dodgers are now the odds-on favorite to win the World Series.
In a land of terrible sports takes, this one may be it. The man on your screen is Ben Verlander, the brother of Hall of Famer-to-be Justin Verlander. Before we go over how insane of a take this is, more from Ben.
They signed Shohei. Well, guess what? That comes along with the territory. You're now the favorites to win. What also does this mean? Well, it also means you have the ability at this point, and this is something that's been so important to me, and I said it a little bit earlier, but I will continue to say it. This money, $700 million, yes, you get Shohei on your team for guaranteed the next 10 years, right? But this goes on forever. And I said this last week, I said it before, and I'll continue to say this. Whatever team Shohei Ohtani signs with will be remembered as his team forever.
So many things to say on this, right? Alan Stiles, you have the floor.
The Dodgers signed Jackie Robinson. The Dodgers signed the first black Major League Baseball player, breaking the color barrier and changing the course of not just baseball, but American sports. The Dodgers did. This is the problem. And look, Ben Verlander, I actually played against him in college, so, good on whatever he's got going on in his career. That is Justin Verlander's little brother, so get in where you fit in. Good for him. But this is the problem with baseball media right now, really in the history of baseball media, and it's not getting any better. And it doesn't matter how many rules you change and you try to say, let the kids play. Little black boys see this and they are not thinking about baseball because baseball isn't thinking about them or the history. It's funny, but it's also sad and it's embarrassing. And if Fox Sports let this out because they thought it was clickbaity, that's embarrassing and shame on them. And if it was an honest mistake, that's embarrassing. Shame on them.
Fair points all around. Maybe it was intentional because if you look at the traffic, as a Wednesday morning, the clip was shared by MLB on Fox on Twitter, and it had 1.7 million reposts or quote tweets and roughly 800 likes. A ratio of nearly 2,000 to 1 is not ideal. Even Major League Baseball players are weighing in at this atrocity of a video. Justin Turner, Dodger legend, ex-Dodger legend, wrote on Twitter, "There is no number 17 without number 42. Come on, man." And then he even hashtag "come on, man," and terrible take. So look, many have clung to Verlander's always put Ohtani first. At this point, it is agendized. It is what he does. And he's known for it. And I'll show you why. To give an idea on this consensus, ESPN's Jeff Passan mocked Ben Verlander previously, to which Ben fired back at Jeff Passan's height. So the writer then tweeted this. Wow. To say all baseball fans know, well, they know. More importantly, excluding Jackie Robinson is not only purposeful for us to talk about it, but it's hurtful. I mean, let's just go over some things. His number is retired across the sport. There is a day commemorating him, to honor him. There will not be a Shohei Ohtani Day. Hell, there's even a possibility Ohtani doesn't make the Hall of Fame. He still has a long career ahead. He will accomplish a lot. He did undergo a second major elbow surgery, but to Ben Verlander, it doesn't matter. And this is something that I talked about in a previous clip. We're at the point where you will be platformed, the Nick Wright, Skip Bayless model, for saying the most outrageous crap, because then people talk about it. Something that we learned was when, and look, love him or hate him, doesn't matter. Let's use him as an example to make a point. Doug Gottlieb blew the lid off of Skip Bayless's antics because they worked at ESPN together. They worked at Fox Sports 1 together. Gottlieb went public after Bayless did another terrible thing, one of many throughout his career, calling Troy Aikman gay when Aikman is not gay in order to sell a book. That's when he knew, oh, I should just do that. I should just make this character. So that way, the dumb sports fan will eat it up and I will enrich myself. Saying things, I can go on and on, whatever. So Gottlieb blew the lid off by saying he has an entire team who tracks how many times he's mentioned, how many likes it gets, how many retweets, reposts it gets, the traction that he has. Skip Bayless's team is into that stuff. They live off of that stuff, quite literally, actually. They get paid off that stuff. So as I see it, we have so many in media now, and Jeff Pearlman, fantastic journalist, working on a Tupac book, wrote the book Football for a Buck. We interviewed him previously. Great dude. He talks about how media has just been watered down to have this agenda of favoritism, and that is rewarded. Like slobber knocking over one athlete and saying they're the greatest thing to ever happen to humanity. Aside from Jesus. Saying they're the greatest thing to ever happen to humanity. And you know what happens? They get play. They get run. They get sit-down interviews with that person because said athlete knows there will never be any controversy. There will never be one non-softball question thrown to them. And it's all encompassing with what Ben Verlander is doing. Say something so ridiculous, so outrageous, so illogical, so stupid that I know people are going to talk about me, and I will take the bullets because it'll keep my future bright. It'll lead to followers on Twitter. It'll lead to followers on Instagram. It'll lead to followers on TikTok. People can dunk on me all they want. Doesn't matter. You know why? Because I'm going to get the last laugh because I will continue collecting these checks because y'all are talking about me. And even if people know him as the Ohtani's like number one fan and, carrying the water for Ohtani, he doesn't care. You know why? Because he's getting mentioned by Major League Baseball's playoff cable television provider. That's insane. But it also shows something else. Those that are in the positions of, I'm dropping truth here, guys. Those that are in the positions of power do not want their athletes, those in their respective leagues, to be checked. They want it to go unchecked. And thus you have guys like this who will continue bending over backwards for those that put them in that position and the athletes that they are supposed to cover through media and journalism 101 objectively. And they don't. And that is where we are right now. To not mention Jackie Robinson, by the way, to not mention Fernando Valenzuela. It's dumb. But he knows what he's doing.